Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for joining us here at USA Global TV and Radio, where we soon will have a new logo, a new introduction, new music, but we will have the same mission to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Our show today is the business talk show. There are no others, just this one. And our topic is, what is customer delight delivery with Michael Green? Joining me first is the star of our show, Mr. Al CINI. For those of you who have watched our show before, you know Al's been with me since the very beginning. And I think this is our 119th episode together of this program. Al is an entrepreneur. He's also the voice of this platform. And he also has shows on another platform, RVN Television. You can find him there as well. Let's bring him out and see how he's doing. Then we'll bring out Michael Green. Welcome, Mr. CINI.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Happy New Year to you. And this is
Thank
episode
you.
119.
119. Can you believe it?
Well, that's impressive. I can't believe it. It's amazing. Everyone has been great. And this one, if 2023 is the year of the customer, where we focus again on what it is we do that makes a difference in the world, that ultimately is judged and paid for by a client or a customer, I think Michael Green is going to be a great guest.
I agree with you. I had the pleasure of interviewing him. I can't even keep the days straight. I think it was last week. And he really covered a very important topic, ESG, which we'll touch on briefly today. And he represents a group called the Kaleidoscope Group. And one of the founding members there, Hardy, was actually somebody I did a show with for a number of episodes. So I have a spot in my heart for him and for the organization. Before we bring him out, Al, tell us a little bit about the work that you do at BCAT, and also what is Profit?
Well, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. And Profit is a team building experience. We've taken the work that we do in aligning brand and culture. And I should explain what that means. We often use the phrase walking your talk, which generally means that what we see in the way you behave is aligned with what we know you're trying to accomplish in the world. So your habits, your behaviors, your gestures, your clothing, all of that is in alignment with what I know it is you represent in the world. It's a kind of integrity and professionalism, brand and culture alignment, that we've shrunken down to fit into a team building experience that we call Profit. And Profit is designed to do in 4 hours what a lot of consultants promise to do but never get done, sometimes even after months or years. That is to get your people to walk their talk by identifying that role model that represents all of us when we're doing our best work on our best day, defining and articulating that role model so clearly that it becomes obvious to us what we need to do in order to be more like that role model and be the best contributors we can possibly be to the mission of the team that we serve. So that's Profit. It's a team building experience, fits inside 4 hours. I'm easy to reach, al.cini@getbcat.com. And as always, Dr. Jacalyn, thank you for the opportunity to talk about it.
Thank you, Al. It's wonderful watching you and your organization grow and continue to give back. And I feel that this year in particular, when there's been so much discord in the past and people working in offices, then working from home, then they don't want to go back to the office, the great resignation, I feel that culture and how we treat our customers, how we delight them, is more important than ever.
I can't think of a better way to bring Michael into the conversation than exactly what you just said.
Fantastic. So let us welcome Michael Green. He is the Chief Marketing Officer at the Kaleidoscope Group of Companies. Welcome.
Happy New Year, Dr. Jacalyn. Happy New Year, Al. It's a privilege to be here talking about customer delight delivery at the start of 2023, because it's going to drive it.
I hope so. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you. And Michael, before we get into our questions, I'd just like to know, where are you joining us from?
So I'm joining you from Chester in England, in the middle of the country, an hour and a half from London by the train, if it's running.
Well,
or 3 days by car.
Just a few hours.
Well, hello to all of our friends in the UK. We do love our UK followers. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Michael, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I had the pleasure of interviewing you the other day. But for people who are not familiar with the Kaleidoscope Group of Companies, what is it that you do there?
So Kaleidoscope Group of Companies represents the interests of people with disability. That's talent, and entrepreneurs with disability. We have different divisions. So we have an investment group, we have a recruitment group, we have a mentoring group and an advisory group, as well as a charity. And everything we do is trying to direct talent within every person with disability into business in a very productive and profitable way, because people with disability have a lot to offer. They have many skills, and that enhances businesses, that enhances the products, it enhances the services, because they are people who are extremely able in one form or another. And all companies should be embracing that talent. And that's what we encourage and work with, support, endorse, and help roll out businesses, as well as entrepreneurs, as well as the skills within those people with disability.
That is such a great way to make a difference. And, you know, at the top of the program, I got to talk a little bit about what I do and trying to combine the two. I think that the world is about applying talent, skill, capabilities to problems that people have. Whether you're doing that from a wheelchair, whether you're doing that from, I mean, no matter what your circumstances might be, I believe everybody can make a contribution. Everybody can make a difference. 2023 hopefully is about that world where finally we create that world where we're solving problems for each other, regardless of any of our individual differences. That's why it's such a noble mission that you're on, Michael, and I couldn't be happier to be talking to you about it today.
Well, thank you, Al. And, you know, I think the last few years with COVID-19, we've all realized that accessibility is so vital, because many people haven't traveled. They've been working from home. We've now got this new culture called the hybrid work environment, and people, wherever they are, can be helping develop companies, whether it be in product development or service development globally. And we've all learned how to communicate and do business wherever we are, through Teams, through Zoom, through whatever medium as well, online. So the world has changed, and therefore the recruitment needs have changed. So people with disability can be working from home or can be working anywhere. So the world has become more accessible to everyone and more global through what we've experienced with the pandemic.
Where does that passion come from, Michael?
Well, my passion came from family business. We actually evolved from a pet food business in Lancashire. We had different products for dogs. We had dog biscuits, we had dog meat, and we also had some fantastic customers, both independents, farmers, retailers. And my father and mother used to be talking with the customers, with pets, with dogs, with animals, and also talking with the retailers. And so you had to have a passion for what you did. We had a great product, and it gave a lot of pleasure. And all products and services, to do well, they have to give pleasure. So my mother and father and family were able to embrace this passion and provide the product which delivered life-enhancing moments for the pets. But obviously, if the pets are happy, then the customers are happy who have the pets. And we all have pets because they enhance our families. And it's all about this balance in life, this love of nature and of great communication and of community that is created through families, with animals, with nature. And so I really got that, which is why I went into retail. I trained in retail with Marks and Spencer, and then got into major brands, the likes of Pret-a-Manger, duty-free retailing, Häagen-Dazs, Wilson Sporting Goods, and evolved different brands across different channels. But it was always with the customer at heart. And if you focused on the customer, then you were able to deliver better products, better services, all through working with your customers. And ultimately, that made me very excited. I thought starting in retail would be great, because retail's evolved now into online as well as offline, probably more so online. But the reality is, it's all about the customer and where you provide the product or service that makes the difference and creates life-enhancing moments. And that's where I was excited about business, because I embraced that.
That is
Great.
exciting, Michael. Question I have for you when it comes to the customer. I was in the industry of employee recognition, sales incentives, customer incentives, and that's what I did when I left corporate. How important is it to have loyalty programs for your customers? Is that really key, or is it really just have a good product, deliver the value at a competitive price, and meet the needs of the customer?
Okay, well, let me talk about a couple of things here. I think it's essential that you do embrace the customer, because loyal customers drive profitable corporations, whether you be Apple, or whether you be Tesla, or whether you be Microsoft. Why do people come back again and again to use that product and recommend it to friends, family, colleagues? Because they trust the product and the product delivers. And so the customer and that loyalty build profitable corporations. In fact, if you take the top corporations in the world at the moment, it's all driven through loyalty. It's all driven through referral. It's all driven through customer feedback. And customer feedback, of course, is vital, because it's actually driving not only current sales, but also future sales, because it's the senses of the body, whether it be what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, what you feel, that actually drives sales of any product or service in the world. And that is the heart. And of course, it's the customer feedback. Let's look at the data. In 2020, customer feedback was worth globally $7.6 billion a year. The forecast by 2027 is that customer feedback will be worth $23.6 billion globally. And that, of course, it's the customer feedback that drives not only current sales, loyalty, introductions, and the profitability, but it's also going to drive the future product development. And that is what the brands and service companies should be looking at. And the bright ones, of course, are. And the future in terms of loyalty is not just about the product and service. It's also about how it touches and communicates with nature, sustainability, the environment. Because, of course, if we don't look after our natural environment, then we might not have a tomorrow. You know, if we're not careful, we will be the dinosaurs of tomorrow unless we embrace today. And that does touch climate change. And we spoke about this, Jacalyn, the other day, with what America's experiencing at the moment, the greatest extremes. But all of this is part and parcel of what we as consumers touch, create, buy, rebuy, because how it's produced, where it's produced, how it's distributed, all is going to be part of the future and our, you know, life-enhancing moments. We've got to keep protecting life-enhancing moments, and the climate's going to be impacted by what we buy, how we buy it, where we buy it, how it's delivered, and these are all going to be part of the feedback that the customers give in the future. So it will drive, this loyalty will drive our future, and hopefully sustainably, so that we've got a tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's impressive. But now let me paint a picture for you, because I need your help. In fact, the whole planet needs your help. Let me paint a picture for you of a business owner who has a product idea, maybe has already developed that product idea and brought it to market at some level. Let's say they've got 100 clients who are using something or using a service that they offer. And it's so promising that they've now met one or two people that are willing to throw money at it. Meaning, I've got a couple of investors who are telling me that they have enough faith in my idea that they'll give me some money to help me develop it. So now I have two people to make happy. I've got the customers that I originally imagined I could make happy with this thing that I've created. And I've got some people who believe that they can make some money helping me make money. Now, here's my problem. My problem is I've got these two people that I can count on for money. I've got these 100 people whose world I want to change. How do I become the holistic leader that I need to be in order to make both of those factions happy? Because so many companies, I think, fail by concentrating too much on where the money is and not where the solutions need to be?
I think it's all about, is there demand for the product? Does that drive profitability? Does it create a sustainable, natural offering, which is great for the world? And therefore it's embracing environment, social, governance, but it's delighting the customer. And if the customer's delighted, it drives the sales, which drives the operational excellence, which drives the net profitability, so that the customer's happy. But with the customer being happy, it drives everyone else's happiness, because the shareholders are going to be delighted if the product's been purchased again and again, because then they're going to get greater profitability, and it's ticking all of the boxes. Everyone's happy, and the world is sustainable, and we have a future going forward with this product. It delights, it delivers in all areas. But the customer ultimately has to have a product that they believe in. It delivers for their life-enhancing moments, but also they know if they're buying certain products that are environmentally sustainable and great consideration has gone into that production, the customer's even happier buying it. So they've got the pleasure, the staff have got the pleasure in the company, the world's got the pleasure because it's sustainable, and the shareholders have got the added value, profitable, and the customer's going to come back for more and more. And they're introducing friends, family, and colleagues. It's a win-win-win-win. That is the ultimate brand. And that is what the top brands in the world are currently focusing on. You know, we spoke about Nestle the other day, the largest food and drinks company. Why? Because they have great products, but also they're embracing the environment. They work with communities globally to develop those products. If they're taking something from the earth, they're planting another tree, or they're planting something, so it keeps being sustainable. And people in any purchase in the future are going to say, how does this product actually affect the world? Is it going to be enhancing lifestyle, or is it detrimental? If it's detrimental, the chances are consumers will stop buying that product, because they say, we're not going to go to -45 and have snow and ice at the same time next year. No, we don't want that. We really don't want that, because if it carries on getting colder and the water keeps melting, we're going to have serious issues in this world, because there won't be beaches, there won't be anything that sustains life. So we've got to get real. What we buy with our consumer decisions based on that product integrity or the service integrity is very dear to the consumer's hearts, which ultimately means that the shareholders' hearts will be delighted. And also, if you are a director of a company, you've had this wonderful vision, your product has unique, your company has unique products and services that people want to buy. And they're going to talk about it and promote it because it's good for them, it's good for their friends, it's good for their businesses probably, and it's good for life-enhancing moments for us all and nature.
I have a quick follow-up question because I want to bring this all around back to what I understand you do at Kaleidoscope. The problem with money is it makes people stupid. I get so stupid chasing money that I forget all of the factors that you've just described. I don't really need to pay attention to ESG. All I really care about is where that next 10 million is going to come from, or where my next 100 million is going to come from. And often in the early stages of a company, it comes from an investor, somebody that believes in the product for whatever reason. Often the investor doesn't even understand the product. They've been told by somebody else to put their money here, if you know what I mean. So the only person really that we can count on to actually understand all those things you just described is the owner or manager of the business. And what I'm hoping is that the kind of myopia that I get by focusing just on the money, which is what most business leaders do, is what you at Kaleidoscope help business managers to overcome and manage. Do I have that right?
You have it absolutely right. And in fact, let's talk about Kaleidoscope Group, because I haven't really mentioned it now. But Kaleidoscope Group represents the interests of people with disability. There's great talent, there's great entrepreneurs there, but most companies in the world have actually ignored them. And let me illustrate that. 1.85 billion people in our wonderful world of 8 billion people as of last year are with a disability. Okay, that's over 20% of the global population. Now, if we look at their annual spend, it's over $8 trillion a year. Now, there's two considerations with $8 trillion a year of spend. Number one, is my company, product or service, delivering to people with disability over 20% of the world? Or have I just opened up a 20% share price growth or 20% sales growth? Because now we're going to embrace them and going to start communicating to them, because they also have needs and requirements, and they're very discerning people. But what about their families as well? And what about the people with talent and entrepreneurial with disability who should be helping my company get better and stronger? And if you look at corporations in the world, under 3% of employment globally embraces disability and talent. So if companies actually started saying, we are going to recruit this talent, then we can not only enhance our companies with disability, but our products will become more sensitive to the needs of our customers, and we're going to get at least a 20% sales growth as well. So we've got the double whammy. We're employing people with ability and disability talent, and we're going to have products and services that are better communicating to people with disability. And of course, if you're actually focusing on your communication and marketing through the senses of the body, which are actually the senses that buy products and services globally, then you will have greater business, greater product, greater service, greater loyalty, greater profitability, retention, and the growth of your company into the long term. Oh, and also you're embracing nature, because the customers love the products you are providing, because you are being natural and sustainable and sensitive to ensure zero carbon emissions for tomorrow. So we've all got life enhancing moments. Win-win, win-win, win.
Total. I love that. I think that, to me, ties it all together. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael. I just want to say hello to Push Child Foundation of Uganda. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. We really appreciate you. Michael, what I'm wondering is, in the lifetime value of maintaining clients, how far, to what extent should business owners go to delight them? If it ends up being somebody's not happy with a product or service, they come back over and over again, they're still not happy, and you're actually losing money on the customer. When do you decide to put a line in the sand and say, you know what, I'm willing to lose this percentage of customers? Is that ever possible, or do you delight everyone all the time?
Well, it's remarkable with online as well as offline sales that companies now communicate more with their customers, because they are the profitable future of the business. And you should be communicating with your customers every week or every month at least, because you want to hear from them. You know, they're probably going to be buying your product or service every week or every month, you know, in some cases every day. But you need to ask the customer, because the customer has the answer, the customer has the solutions. And if they are happy, not only is the company more profitable and successful, but they've also got the secrets. They've got all of the stories, the storyboard of the future of the product development. Whichever company or product you are, you need to be listening to the customers. And that could be through all mediums. So social media now. Social media and the whole marketing mix has completely changed over the last 10 years, indeed the last 5 years. Look at what is driving sales. It'll be keywords through Google. It'll be videos on products and services through either Netflix or YouTube. It'll be through Apple, its communication, or AWS. It will be through your mobile, where you're going to be getting the keyword messages, which will prompt you to be buying going forward. And all of the feedback from the customer should be feeding into that mix of marketing. Because if the customer says, this is my experience, then other people will listen, because the customer's saying it. The brand doesn't have to say it. The customers are saying it, And this will drive more sales more profitably in the future. And it's global. And of course, everything is multilingual now as well for all brands, has to be. And so what goes around comes around. And those are the facts. You have a great product or a great service. The secret is selling more, get the customers talking more about it, and saying what's special about the product. And indeed, what could be better about the product? Ask the customer. The customer has the answer. We're all different. Of course, we're all different. We're bespoke. We all have our own likes, our own dislikes. But ultimately, what we think comes out through social media, and that's driving products and services and every day, without doubt. And in fact, what people are saying online is what's driving the politicians in parliaments, in governments, in the Senate, because they want to ensure their customers are happy that they're addressing in their parliaments the key issues for those customers. And that is absolutely vital, because you can't ignore the customer, because ultimately nature will tell governments whether the customers got it right or wrong as well. So we've all got to wake up, shake up to health and well-being, both of ourselves, the environment, and the world around us. And that has to be embraced by products and services that we're delivering for tomorrow to be here for us all to enjoy.
Okay, now I'm going to challenge you a little bit, Michael, because I thought that was brilliant. And let's start a little bit let's talk about disabilities as differences. So by some definitions, I can actually say that somebody who doesn't speak English is disabled because they can't meet a standard that I require, must be able to speak English, not just to work here, but also potentially to buy something I make. You know, I mean, it's crazy how we can marginalize people based on the fact that they're different. Some of those differences are things like physical and mental disabilities. Some of the other differences are just differences. Now, you said wake up, and I want to try to translate that into what we now call woke, where we're working really hard to include every possible difference we can imagine, even where the differences don't necessarily fit the mission, just so that we can say that we're paying lip service to the idea that we're accommodating all these things. In other words, we don't necessarily mean ESG. We just want to be able to say it in our annual report. You know what I mean?
It's all about sales, though, isn't it, ultimately? And as individuals, we all have different needs, different wants. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. And whoever you are, we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and we have different needs to meet those. That, therefore, has to be embraced within any product or service, because you can't do anything without embracing the senses of the body. And disability generally is a challenge to one of the senses. So let's take dyslexia or autism.
Mm-hmm.
If you are dyslexic or autistic, the chances are you're highly numerate or you're neurodiverse. You know, let's look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is neurodiverse, okay? That gives him exceptional skills. And therefore, he is tuning into those skills and actually making his products better through fine-tuning the products that he delivers. So whether it be an electric car, or whether it be a computer, or whether it be any product in the world, it is meeting people's needs and requirements. And it's embracing all of the elements within the product or service that you have. And obviously every product and service has its product deliverables. But the key is, have we, creating a product or service, optimized on the delivery to the largest potential market in what we're developing? Have we considered all of the elements naturally and sustainably? Because there are many considerations in any product or service. And some products will focus in one area and other products will focus in another area. But the ultimate is, if you can embrace all elements naturally and sustainably, then you will have greater loyalty, you will have greater profitability, you will have greater teamwork, and you will have ultimately a more sustainable business going forward for tomorrow. So it does all link. It really does link. And it's about sales and what's driving the sales. Because the sales of 10 years ago, 5 years ago, are very different to the requirements of tomorrow. Because people are saying, oh, hang on a second, it's plastic. It's not recycled. What's happening with that plastic? Oh, it could be impacting our water, our oceans. It could be killing nature. It could be creating issues that cost money, that cost negativity in the world, or cost the climate, which costs our lives.
I think one of the things we lost over the last 20 years is the whole concept of shame and embarrassment. And that whole idea that you should be ashamed of yourself because you leave a mess behind you. You should be ashamed of yourself because you don't put things back the way you found them. That whole idea that you have a larger responsibility to doing what's right is lost by the focus to just make money. What I love about what you say you do at the Kaleidoscope Group, and what I'm beginning to understand now about why you even call it that, is because there is this larger responsibility that we all have to everything. That means that every individual thing we do has to be with the whole in mind. And if what I do is hire you because I need a conscience more than anything else, then I think you provide a very valuable service, Michael.
Well, thank you, Al. I think what I would say, which embraces all of this, is it's the circle of opportunity. The circle of opportunity, what goes around, comes around. And it will. It really does. And also, we are one circular world, one blood colour. We are one community, and together as a community, working together, we have a sustainable future. It's no good having one part of the world saying, oh, it's nice if we could just extend our little empire. Oh, we'll grab a little bit of that and we'll send in some missiles. We'll affect the whole oil price. We'll affect the whole wheat distribution. We'll affect food prices. We'll drive inflation higher just because they want a little extra bit of land to build the empire? No, I'm sorry. We are one world, one blood colour. And together, if we do not work together going forward, then we're going to be breaking up and ultimately affecting our sustainability and life forward.
I love that.
I agree with you, Michael. I think a big part of it is also education. And I'll give you an example. Before this platform, there's a lot of things I didn't know about in terms of sustainability and coexistence, but now I do know. And now that I know, I've changed my own behavior. There's a grocery store is in this area. They were using a certain type of packaging, and now I notice they've gone completely to plastic. Not just plastic, but they wrap the plastic in plastic. And I said to myself, there's about, literally, because they have the tickets you have to get to go to the deli section. There were 60 people waiting online. And I said to myself, I can't buy these products anymore. I can't. Now that they're using this kind of packaging, I have knowledge of what coexistence and sustainability looks like, what it needs to be. I need to be part of the solution, and I can't shop here anymore.
And I think that's so vital. I mean, if you're going to buy some fruit or an avocado, do you buy the avocado that's loose, that you can actually pick up and put straight into your basket? Or do you buy something that's pre-wrapped with lots of plastic on and, cardboard, and put that in your basket? I think everyone in the future will say, hang on a second, I'm going to buy the real product without all of the packaging because it's more sustainable. And that's what I want. And ultimately, of course, if you don't have the packaging and you're picking the product up, you don't have the added cost. So therefore, it should be more cost effective than actually buying a product within packaging. The key is avoid the packaging if you can, but you've still got to manage the distribution. But in the future, the distribution is going to be very different because it's probably all electronic, and it's going to be managed by robots through a service center, which could be run by Amazon or one of the distributors as well. So it does all, what goes around comes around, but it really, everything that we look at now, we will think, where's it come from? How's it come from? And is this something that is good for me, good for nature, and good for our future? And that is a new consideration in all of our purchasing. And anyone who says that they don't think about a product and how it was made and how it evolved, if you're impacted by -45 and snow and ice in America, or if you're impacted by water in India, or if you are impacted by a tsunami, wherever it might be, you are going to be considering very carefully, because you survived a trauma, where is the product come from? Because I want to be protecting our futures for tomorrow, today.
You know, I know we're running out of time, Dr. Jacalyn. These programs are never long enough, especially when you get a great guest like Michael. I do want to point out, Michael, that your LinkedIn profile is a great way to go, a great place to go to get more information about you. One of the things you say on your profile is you have a focus on AI. We need to get you back just to talk about that, because I think artificial intelligence is I've given up on the whole concept of natural intelligence. There's just too many stupid people in the world. I think if we don't build it, we'll never be able to develop it in humans. It's just the way it is. You got to come back and talk about that.
Well, I have 4 words that underpin AI, and that is data, horticulture, nurture, and harvesting. Because we measure everything. We nurture everything. We feed it, we grow it, and that drives the harvesting and success. It's like a P&L from sales to profit. Data, horticulture, nurture, and harvesting. But everything is driven by those 4 words, now and forever.
Oh, beautiful.
Great way to wrap up the show. Thank you. And again, we could have you here every week with a different topic, because you just have so much passion and energy, and you provide so much really valuable information. I thank you for that.
Well, thank you for asking the right questions. And it's a privilege. And I am passionate because I like talking about success and our future. And I want to ensure we do have a great future, embracing nature and sustainability. So thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And in addition to your LinkedIn profile, how can people reach you if they're on a radio channel or they're on a podcast platform and they can't read the banner?
Okay. Well, I mean, I have email as well. So that's michael.green@kaleidoscope.group or kadirconsulting@gmail.com. But I would always love to hear from people. I'm also on Instagram, Michael Green 007, if you want to be on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm Green07. So I think I probably touch most multimedia channels for people to communicate with me. So, and I welcome hearing from people globally.
Wonderful. Thank you again. So everybody out there who's listening or watching today or in the future, please do connect with Michael. He's put himself out there. He's looking to collaborate. He's looking to educate. He's looking to help as many people as possible to understand these topics that are near and dear to every one of us who is breathing. So
absolutely. And Kaleidoscope
follow you on Instagram.
Brilliant. Well, we look at Kaleidoscope Group. Our motto is empowering ambition within the group, and within our charity, empowering lives. And that's how I want to help everyone.
That's great.
It really is. It was an honor to have you back, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Al, and thank you, Jacalyn. Very grateful.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Great show, Al.
I'd say it was a great interview, and I should say, I did say that we need artificial intelligence because we don't have enough natural intelligence. Well, our guests prove otherwise. I mean, the truth is, there are an awful lot of dumb people in the world, but we never get to interview any of them. Everybody we interview on the Business Talk Show is somebody who has plenty of natural intelligence. Michael Green is no exception. It was a wonderful conversation. I'm looking forward to having him back.
I put that in the terms and conditions when you register. You must have natural intelligence.
IQ test.
And Al, please let people know how they can watch your other programs and how they can reach out and partner with you and your team.
I host a couple of programs on a network called rvntelevision.com. It's RVN Television. You can find a directory of programs, Morning Coffee, The Advocates in particular, which talks about people who make a difference. Often we get to talk to people with disabilities who do amazing things, or people who run organizations that do wonderful things for people with disabilities. Those are always great subjects, and that's what we cover with the advocates. That's all on rvntelevision.com. And if you're looking to build an organization that includes your employees as your stakeholders, if you're looking to build a team where everybody on the team feels as though they have a voice, regardless of rank or seniority or any individual differences, that's what we do with ProFit for Teams. Learn more at profit4teams.com, or you can send me an email or at al.cini@getbcat.com. Happy to talk to you about it. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Al. And I hope that you'll be able to invite Michael to RVN Televisions for him to share his story there as well.
I think he'd be a great guest for the advocates. And one of the things I'll do a little later on today is send him the link to sign up.
Yay, I love that.
Good.
Yay,
Good.
he loves it too.
Great.
All right, thank you again, Al, and I'll be giving you a call shortly to have a chat.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, thank you.
Great
Bye.
day.
And once again, thanks to each and every one of you. I'm asking you this year, I've said it many times last year, please reach out to our team. Please reach out to our guests. That's why they're here. They're providing education, information, hope, and inspiration. They want to hear from you. They're not just saying that. So while you're sitting there watching this, go over to LinkedIn, connect with Michael Green, connect with Al CINI, connect with me. We're here to help. We want to hear your story. If you'd like to be a guest, you can go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, get a good look at it as it stands now, because in the next couple of weeks, it's all going to change. It's going to be updated. It's very exciting. And just go to book your session, scroll down the page. You'll see the shows that we offer. And all of the shows are in the Eastern time zone. So wherever you are in the world, make sure you do that transition to your time zone, wherever you may be. And just go ahead and register. We're happy to have you. And again, that's why we're here to support you and your story. All right, we are signing off. Our next show is coming up. It's Talking Heads with our expert presenter, Caroline Heward. So please do stick around for that. And again, you can go over to our YouTube channel and see all of our programming there. Our YouTube channel is what do you think? That's right, USA Global TV. You got it. All right, thanks for now. Bye, everyone.